Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now, this is your breaking news, I guess. So, with sorry, 1 second, completely unprepared. But with Ajax, Edwin van der Sar is apparently leaving Ajax with immediate effect. He's been their CEO for the last 6 years, and he's been at the clubs, I believe, since 2012. So Edwin van der Sar, if you don't know, is obviously an ex-Manchester United legend, probably one of the best goalkeepers Manchester United ever had at our football club. And he's gone on and had a very decent career outside and off the pitch. And he's been Ajax's CEO for quite a few years now. And if you was to ask me this 12 months ago, about Edwin van der Sar, I'd be like, you know what? Good CEO, runs the club very well, got no issue with him. But over the last 12 months, Ajax fans have taken a massive dislike to Edwin van der Sar, which is understandable because realistically, in the fans' perspective and the fans' view, that Edwin van der Sar has completely sabotaged Ajax as a football club, which is obviously something that you could probably say that Edwin van der Sar never meant to actually do. But with Edwin van der Sar as a whole, he's a businessman at the same time. And obviously he runs the club very well. But also at the end of the day, the way he's run the football club over the last few years, he's done very, very well. And the reason why so many Ajax fans are annoyed, Simon, evening pal, how are you doing? But the reason why Ajax fans are so annoyed is that last summer, when Erik ten Hag joined Manchester United, he was Ajax's manager. And the fans were furious by Erik ten Hag going to Manchester United in the first place. And Edwin van der Sar allowed so many of the Ajax team get sold. You think of the likes of Lisandro Martinez and Antony to Manchester United, Sebastian Haller to Dortmund, Daley Blind to Bayern Munich. You've got two more players that went to Bayern Munich in Gravenberch and the Moroccan right back. So with this, Simon says, please elaborate. I'm intrigued. So with Edwin van der Sar, he's obviously the CEO was the CEO of Ajax, and pretty much he's now almost a free agent. He's out of a job, and Manchester United are desperate in need for a CEO. So could Edwin van der Sar be reunited with Manchester United? Obviously, just not as a player, as an actual board of director almost. But again, this is the same situation we had under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, an ex-player who we want to do well might not do well, because if he's just been, because apparently he's left off his own back, but with the fans constantly on his back, with the owners on his back, I think he's bottled it and not be able to handle the pressure. So for me, would I take Edwin van der Sar as CEO? I wouldn't say no, because I think he's better than John Murtough. But again, if Ajax fans are annoyed for that sole reason, then you can understand why. But Ajax haven't won the Eredivisie this season, so Ajax fans will be annoyed from that. They haven't had the best run in Europe this season, so it's not been a good season for them. And the reason why I can see Ajax fans are so annoyed is that because Edwin van der Sar allowed all these sales to happen, Ajax finally had a good team going, and they were playing really good football. But again, Ajax, for me, will always be seen as that club in Europe that has to sell, because we know that Ajax are known throughout their history for developing players. I mean, think of the likes of Frankie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt, these players that have gone on to have a very decent careers. And I believe even like Christian Eriksen played. I believe that Christian Eriksen was at Ajax at one point. So Ajax have had a lot of very good players who have had very promising and very successful careers over the years. So for me, I feel like they're never going to be an established challengers for actual Europe. Maybe back in the day when it was Johan Cruyff and all these legends, but in modern day, you've got the Premier League, you've got the La Liga, you've got the Serie A. I think the last time Dutch side got close to the Champions League final was, funny enough, Erik ten Hag's Ajax side, I believe in the 2018-2019 season, when they lost 3-3 to Tottenham on goal difference. But Erik ten Hag, obviously, he's done really well with Ajax when he was their manager. But again, with Ajax, it's just been a very off season for them, and with Edwin van der Sar leaving with immediate effect, that has caught a lot of attention, especially from United fans, because obviously United fans aren't very happy with our board. We want better members. We want our club to be better run. So realistically, we want more and we want better. And I personally feel like Edwin van der Sar is probably better than John Murtough, but John Murtough is a businessman. Edwin van der Sar is an ex-player who, who probably knows what it means to be a Manchester United player for starters, and probably will take a bit more of a liking, I guess, maybe try more. I really don't know, because this is the type of topic that I don't normally talk about, but it's breaking news, so we have to talk about it. But Edwin van der Sar, it's well known that obviously he's now out of a job. So again, question for Simon, considering you're the only one that's commenting. Would you take Edwin van der Sar at United or City, whatever fan you are? So as a goalkeeper, he was shit hot. I can't pass comments on his ability to guide a club correctly. Obviously, you know more than me. Yeah, but again, with Edwin van der Sar, I don't study Ajax. I don't know exactly what's gone wrong with him. I've saw the report this morning. I'd be like, okay, what's happened here? And it's pretty much saying with the fans constantly on his back, Ajax not succeeding this season. Edwin van der Sar has stepped down as the manager, as the CEO of of Ajax. But I'm just going to get the quote up here now, because apparently left the fans a farewell message. So let me just get on Twitter here. Edwin van der Sar, here he is, Edwin van der Sar 70, and let's find it. Here it is. So he titled it saying, "I've got a message for you," and it said, "After almost 11 years on the board, I am done. We have experienced wonderful things together, but it has also been an incredibly tough period. I'm very grateful for the people I have met and worked with during my second career at Ajax and what we have achieved and been through together. I feel the need to take some distance, to get some rest, and to do other things. It doesn't feel good to take decisions about the future of this wonderful club in the upcoming period. That is why I've decided to resign." So it's kind of a nice farewell message. It's not like he's saying that he blames the fans, he blames himself. He's pretty much saying that he wants to take a break. So maybe he's taking a break from football. Maybe he's taking a break from Ajax. I'm not too sure. But with all this, it is a big surprise with it. But, the guy is still a legend of Manchester United. And it's like, if Gary Neville or Rio Ferdinand wanted to become a coach, for example, like, we wouldn't feel like it doesn't feel right. And this is why I kind of don't want ex-players to be involved in our football club, because we saw what happened, what went wrong with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So with likes of Edwin van der Sar, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, all these ex-players, I mean, look at Michael Carrick for all his coaching staff. It doesn't work out, and the United fans, it takes us longer to criticise them, because if it was someone that was completely unknown doing the same stuff that they would do, we'd be calling for the head, or we'd be saying that they're not good enough. And this is why United need to not go near ex-players, because obviously the fan base it makes the fan base uneven and divided again. Simon, let's see what he said. Depends on what role, Dan. I feel he would be passionate if he came back to United, but it depends on the capacity and position he would take up. In other words, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. And it's like, I don't know what it's like. Simon's pretty much said it here. That's a very good point. It's like having a friend who's a boss. Exactly. It's very hard because, it's like when you hire, like, let's say, like, I don't know, you're at work, your girlfriend's out of job, and you be like, "Oh, do you want to come work for us?" But you're the boss of the store, and then you want to fire your girlfriend because she's shit at her job, but you can't, because you've got that connection towards her. But anyway, that's the breaking news about Edwin van der Sar. From what I've just read of the Twitter, obviously he seems to be taking a break from actual football and Ajax. So maybe he's just having like a gap year, let's say, like a uni student. But there's something else I want to talk about, and that's the second part of the video. And that is Erik ten Hag calling out the Glazers. So in a recent interview with Simon Stone, Erik ten Hag was asked a numerous amount of questions. And was it Simon Stone, actually? I think it might be, who was it now? Where is it? I've completely lost this. Where is it? Erik ten Hag interview. Oh gosh, I hate this laptop. This laptop's so slow. Anyway, but off the top of my head, I'll quickly just find it. With Erik ten Hag, he called out the Glazers, and by him saying this, it's crazy. Here it is on Manchester Evening News here. So with this, it was, let me just find the journalist. It was under, the report is under Richard Fay of Manchester Evening News, writer George Smith and John McDowell. And Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, talking about new Manchester United transfer targets, a Mason Greenwood situation, and calling out the Glazers. So the Mason Greenwood video I'm going to address tomorrow, because that's a full video in itself. I'm talking about would you take Greenwood back or not at Manchester United, so stay tuned for that. But Erik ten Hag turns around and says that when you look at what happened this season, yes, we got investment in the summer, but in the winter window, we didn't get any investment. Yes, we got loan players, but they weren't good enough for us, pretty much. Now, Erik ten Hag's pretty much said there that the Glazers haven't backed him. And he goes on to say that when you see other clubs in the top four investing for top four, we can't compete. So he's pretty much addressing there that he got stiffed by the Glazers. And rightly so. You look at the likes of Chelsea, who, yes, weren't in the top four, but they brought in players like, who was it? They brought in Enzo Fernandez after he won the World Cup. They brought in João Felix, a very good player from Spain. You've got the likes of Liverpool signing Cody Gakpo, who was a wanted target by Erik ten Hag. So Erik ten Hag's there pretty much addressing that the Glazers didn't back him in the January transfer window, which is obviously shows his frustration there. And as United fans, we can't let that slip. We can't let this be forgotten about, because with this, Erik ten Hag is pretty much acknowledging that Glazers haven't backed him almost. And it's a massive worry, that, because this is what I love about the manager. This is what I love about Erik ten Hag, because with Erik ten Hag, he's got the honesty of Ralph Rangnick, but the determination and respect of Jose Mourinho. And he's like the in-between between Ralph Rangnick, who was dead stern, wouldn't shy away from the truth. And Jose Mourinho was quite like that as well, but Jose Mourinho was well respected in the media almost. And I feel like Erik ten Hag's got that. So I feel like Erik ten Hag knows that he's got the Glazers by the short and curlies, and he can say whatever he damn well pleases. So for me, I feel like that Erik ten Hag is very disappointed with the way the Glazers didn't fully back him. And it's quite the matter of fact that he's acknowledged he's been stiffed by the Glazers, but as well, he's relieved that somehow he's got top four. So I think in this interview, he's quite acknowledging that if you read between the lines, he wanted more signings to obviously guarantee top four. So when he's saying stuff like, all we got was loan players, I think if you read between the lines there, he said that the players that we brought in January aren't good enough, and they're obviously being Wout Weghorst and Marcel Sabitzer. Obviously, yes, we brought in Jack Butland, but he didn't play a single game. So I really don't understand what the point of that loan spell was. Obviously, I guess it was in case David De Gea got injured, but he didn't. And even when David De Gea had poor performances, we never played Jack Butland, we played Tom Heaton. So I really don't understand what that entire loan transfer was with Jack Butland, but I do rate him as a decent goalkeeper, and especially about 3 or 4 years ago, I definitely would have put him up there for a very good backup goalkeeper, but he's a Crystal Palace goalkeeper, and we've loaned him, and I feel like it was just instant panic from Manchester United in January. We didn't have a game plan. We didn't expect the likes of Eriksen to get injured. We didn't expect the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo to leave. So I feel like there was no backup plan, and that's where the United actually completely panicked, and that's why it was such a poor January transfer window. But this is on the owners, and Erik ten Hag is rightly so calling them out because he's the manager. He can say what he wants, and that's just exactly what Erik ten Hag does. But Simon's saying here that he doesn't give an F, and it's a subtle art. I would say so because if you remember that when Erik ten Hag first joined Manchester United, he said to the players, the owners, the board, "This is my club. It either goes my way or I'm not joining." And that's the way it was, because obviously we had the fear of Pochettino joining Manchester United at first over Erik ten Hag. But when Erik ten Hag did join, he was like, "It's my football club. You do it my way or I don't join. That's it." And because the fans were the ones who wanted Erik ten Hag, everyone in the media, all the pundits were saying, "Oh, I don't know who his Erik ten Hag is. Yes, he's done well for Ajax and stuff, but is he the manager Manchester United needs to go forward?" Clearly he is. So the likes of Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, everyone in the media, all of them criticising Erik ten Hag. The fans chose Erik ten Hag from day one. And this is why I feel like so many fans have a connection towards Erik ten Hag. He's our manager. Like, not just because he's Manchester United manager. He's the fans' manager. It's like the people's champion. That's exactly what Erik ten Hag is to us, because he's the fans' choice. And for me, I feel like that if Erik ten Hag was to leave Manchester United, he'd honestly get a job anywhere. I feel like he's that good. Like, could you imagine if Erik ten Hag had Pep Guardiola's backing, like from Man City? Could you imagine Erik ten Hag at Man City with Pep Guardiola's backing, with a blank checkbook, getting to build a dream team? He would be unstoppable. Like, I know Pep Guardiola is absolutely amazing, but for me, I feel like with that, it's a special trait in itself that you can go absolutely anywhere and succeed. Like Ajax, a developmental club, what did he do? He develops young players and turn them into world stars. With Manchester United, to be given decent budget in the summer. But as the season's gone on, he's dealt with injuries, he's dealt with egos, he's dealt with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation, he's dealt with Jadon Sancho situation, he's dealt with the pressure, everything. And he's succeeded every single time. And this is why I feel like that Erik ten Hag is the perfect manager to take Manchester United forward. But again, I just had to take my hat off to Erik ten Hag with the fact that his respect, I didn't even think his respect could go up for me anymore. But the fact that the Glazers are still in power, I feel like that Erik ten Hag might know something about the sale, if that case, because I don't feel like he would have openly called out the Glazers unless he knew they were going. So maybe that's something else we could read between the lines, that Erik ten Hag is kind of made it well known that the Glazers, well, he's pretty much called out the Glazers. So realistically, does Erik ten Hag know something about the sale? Like, has Erik ten Hag spoke to the new owners yet? I'm not too sure. Is it just being stalled out until the FA Cup final? We're not too sure. Like, it mostly guarantee. Obviously, there's no reports about the sale so far from the last week. So I'm guaranteeing that as soon as the FA Cup is over, I can guarantee within 48 hours, leaks will start coming out of the dressing room, or there'll be an interview with Sir Jim Ratcliffe or the Qataris. A Qatari will be spotted in Manchester or something like that. Like, it's good. It's designed to get good now, because I feel like that Erik ten Hag wouldn't publicly like, if I called out my boss in work, I'd get the sack. So unless I'm getting a new manager, I know the manager's going to leave. He won't sack me, will he? Because he's already leaving. So I feel like that Erik ten Hag might know something here. So I don't know, maybe that's something we could read between the lines here. Simon saying here, good call. He might be letting you know what's happening very soon. Maybe. And that's something that no one has actually addressed it yet. So, Red Devils TV, we do it like nobody else. So make sure you subscribe and leave a like on this stream. So yeah, we're just doing daily content. And if you want to subscribe, feel free. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. I think we're on 668 at the time of recording. So if you are new, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Share this video with your friends. We go live every single day at 7:30. Stay tuned tomorrow, because I'm doing a very special video. which is going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions. So at the start of the season, I made my Premier League predictions. I watched it back today, and oh my God, I got it wrong massively. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna just review that video, and hopefully it's a bit of fun and we can have a laugh about how wrong I was. But next season I'm getting 20 out of 20. Trust the process. So anyway, thank you everyone for that's tuned in this evening. Simon, thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate everyone that's been involved tonight. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, and have a nice evening. Take care, guys. Thank you.